It's so many superhero movies out there. I mean, you got Iron Man, you got Captain America, now you have Ant-Man. What makes Ant-Man different?
Well, it's a couple of things. Number one, like it's the fact that Ant-Man's never been seen in a movie.
Because he's so small, right? That's why he can't be seen.
And you know, there's like, you know, they had a team of writers like somehow figure this out, and I'm sure that they've been trying to break the story of Ant-Man for a while. But like for him to get small and then to have like these amazing sequences was really interesting. But when I read it, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be awesome. And plus, it's like it's the first. I think it's Marvel's first heist movie as well.
So it's it takes a form that's a little bit different from other superhero movies in the past, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, I think mainly it's been really like A to B. You know, it's been like the introduction of the bad guy. You got to, you know, kill the bad guy. You get the bad guy. But here it's like it's a little bit different. Like there's a whole nother plot, and I think Marvel's pretty good at that. To be honest, I'm like they do like genre movies starring superheroes.
And you don't play Ant-Man, you play one of Ant-Man's helpers, one of his associates, so it's part of his entourage, right?
Yeah, entourage. Yeah, I mean, David Desmondron is the one that coined that phrase. I play one of the entourage, but the funny thing is, I'm like, my guy definitely thinks that he's the one in charge, which I think makes for hopefully a little bit more of a humorous aspect of the movie.
Now, I've also heard that there's a lot of improv in this movie, that a lot of the things weren't in the script and you sort of made them up on the fly. Tell me a bit about that process.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you don't want to mess with the Marvel like franchise, you know what I mean, like or the studio, because I'm like, they're so awesome, and you know, most of the movies that they've done, I mean, if not all, have been like hits and like really well done movies. So I was kind of nervous because you know, like the way that it was written, it was like it was supposed to be like a humorous part. So you go into such a machine that you don't really want to be the one who messes up a Marvel movie. But you know, I think, you know, like just about 50% of what I did was just off the cuff, kind of like having fun. But you know, Paul Rudd, he's the one to blame, I think, more than anybody.
Now, did you read comics as a kid?
I didn't. I'm like, I started actually like 6 years ago. My kid's almost 7, and I started reading to him when he was like 1. And you know, I wasn't reading like Punisher or anything, but it was like, you know, like on a very easy gradient, you know, simple storylines with like kid-friendly illustrations, and then, you know, as the years progressed, I started reading more and more, and then I started getting into it. But my kid's pretty much like a Wikipedia of the Marvel universe.
Now, do you see yourself as doing any sequels to Ant-Man? Any sequels elsewhere in the Marvel universe?
I don't know. I'm definitely signed on for 3 movies. I'm like, what they did is that they, you know, as soon as you sign on, they get you for 3 flicks.
They lock you up for more.
They lock you up. I mean, Marvel's smart, you know, like, and if it's a hit, cool, and if it's not, they're like, see you later.
Now, you played heroes before, real life heroes. You played Cesar Chavez in the title role, and a great Mexican-American civil rights leader. And you have roots in Mexico yourself. Your parents came from Mexico, right?
Yeah, I'm like, my parents were farmers, you know, from really small towns, and they, you know, came to America and, you know, followed the American dream and, you know, learned English and tried their best to make it happen. And thank God they did, you know what I mean? I was able to benefit from that effort. But they, you know, they came here, and I'm like, and I just have a soft spot for, you know, those working people, that, you know, immigrants and, you know, even just regular farmers like that were born here. And that movie actually meant a lot to me, you know, doing that.
And I got to ask that, you know, Donald Trump made some comments about immigration.
Yeah.
With your roots, what did you think of those comments?
I think, well, first of all, like if you backtrack it, I'm like, whoever his campaign manager is didn't do a very good job, you know what I mean? There's sometimes that you have to call your player off to play. And I didn't, first of all, I didn't think that it was serious because it looked like a skit. Like it looked like an SNL skit. And then when I realized that it was like, that's what he really meant, I think that he's just not informed. You know, if you take a look at my parents and my brother, who's a police officer, I'm an actor, you know, and then he's hitting on a bunch of different generations. But also leads me to believe that, like, I kind of know what he was saying, but he just didn't say it. especially when you're running for president. I think you got to be clear with your ideas and not single out like a third of the country.
Now you got another big movie coming up. You're filming Chips, right? How's that going?
Yeah, like so. Well, basically, like right now, I got to be working out for that, and I'm lifting heavy weight.
To ride a motorcycle, you gotta work out.
Well, I mean, I got to get in shape.
Okay.
You know, and Aaron Babane, who's a good buddy of mine, he's training me. He trained all the guys from Magic Mike.
Okay.
I'm like, oh. I'm like, no. I'm like, but you know, he's got a whole system where like right now I can eat whatever I want. 8 weeks in, it's not going to be the same, you know. Like, but the script is awesome, and you know, Dax Shepard is playing John Baker, and I'm really excited about that. And in a weird way, like that's a Latin icon, you know, because there wasn't a lot of Latinos in TV at that point, and I remember watching it, and dun, 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 and like, it was an amazing show, and it's cool. Like, you know, I haven't spoken to Eric Estrada, but it'd be cool to like somehow pass the torch, you know. I think I'm like one of the luckiest actors, in all honesty, you know, and I'm taking full advantage of it.
Hey, well, thanks a lot for coming to the Wall Street Journal. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right on.
Thanks.
Full of coffee.